Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're taking a literal deep dive from the sun-drenched surface of the ocean all the way down to its darkest, most mysterious trenches. We're going to uncover the amazing, intricate connections that link every single creature in this massive marine world.
So what's the big idea here? Well, it all boils down to one simple question. What is the link between the tiniest, most invisible microbe and the biggest, baddest shark? The answer, my friends, is the food web, and that's the incredible network of life we're going to explore together.
All right, so to kick off our journey, we first need to understand the basic rules of a game out here. Our first section is all about figuring out that fundamental question: who eats whom in the great big ocean ecosystem?
I want you to think of the aquatic food web as this giant, super complex map. But instead of showing you roads and cities, it shows how energy, the fuel for life, flows from one organism to another. And we call it a web for a reason, right? It's not a straight line, because most animals eat more than one kind of food, making everything tangled and interconnected.
Okay, so where does all this energy come from? Well, it all starts with the producers. These guys are the self-sufficient powerhouses of the ocean. Think of tiny little phytoplankton or seaweed. They use sunlight to make their own food through photosynthesis. They are, without a doubt, the foundation that all other life in the ocean is built on.
Next up, we've got the consumers. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. These are all the animals that get their energy by, consuming other living things. You've got your herbivores, who munch on plants, your carnivores, who eat other animals, and then you have omnivores, like sea turtles, who kind of like to eat a little bit of everything.
And last but not least, let's talk about the unsung heroes of the ocean, the scavengers. These guys are the essential cleanup crew. They eat all the dead and decaying stuff, making sure that none of those valuable nutrients go to waste. They recycle them right back into the system so the producers can use them all over again. It's a perfect loop.
All right, so now that we've met the key players, producers, consumers, and scavengers, let's go see where they actually live. Our virtual submarine is ready to dive, and we're starting right at the top, in the part of the ocean we all know best.
Just imagine it for a second. You're floating in this warm, crystal-clear water. Sunlight is streaming down from above, and all around you, life is just buzzing with activity. Dolphins swimming by, turtles gliding past, huge fields of seaweed swaying. This is where we begin. This top layer is officially called the epipelagic zone, but you can just think of it as the sunlight zone. It goes down about 200 meters, and it's the only layer that gets enough light for photosynthesis to happen. And that's a really big deal because it means this is where almost all the ocean's producers live, making it by far the busiest, most productive part of the sea.
Okay, time to go deeper. Buckle up, because we're leaving that bright, busy world behind and heading down into a realm of deepening shadows and some very strange new creatures. As we sink deeper, the world around us is changing fast. That warm blue is fading to a dark, inky twilight. The pressure is building. And wait, what are those faint lights flickering out in the gloom? Those aren't stars. They're alive. We've just entered the mesopelagic zone, or, as it's more famously known, the twilight zone. Down here, the sunlight is way too faint for any plants to grow. The key feature, the really cool part, is bioluminescence. This is the zone where life literally makes its own light. Animals like the lanternfish produce their own glow to hunt, to find a mate, even to defend themselves. How amazing is that?
All right, say goodbye to the sun. We are now plunging into a world of absolute, total blackness. The temperature is dropping to near freezing, and the weight of all that water above us is creating some truly crushing pressure. This is a genuinely alien environment.
Welcome to the bathypelagic zone, also known as the midnight zone. This place is no joke. From 1,000 all the way to 4,000 meters down, the conditions are just extreme. To survive here in the pitch-black, high-pressure, freezing cold water, life has had to come up with some mind-blowing adaptations. You think that was deep? Oh, we're not done yet. We're going to keep pushing on to the final stage of our descent, heading into the deepest, most remote habitats on the entire planet. So you're probably asking, with no sunlight, what in the world do things eat down here? Well, the answer is leftovers. It's like this constant, gentle rain of organic stuff. Dead plankton, waste, you name it, drifting down from that big party happening in the sunlit layers way, way above. Scientists have a great name for it: marine snow. This is the abyssopelagic zone, or just the abyss. And it is vast. It covers about 3/4 of the entire deep ocean floor. For the strange creatures that call this place home, that marine snow isn't just a snack, it's the primary source of food that sustains this entire mysterious food web in complete darkness. And here we are, the very bottom,
We've reached the deepest trenches and canyons on our planet, places so deep and so dark they were named after Hades, the Greek underworld.
This is the Hadalopelagic Zone. We're talking about depths of nearly 11,000 meters in places like the Mariana Trench. To put that in perspective, that is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. It is the most extreme, least explored environment on Earth. And yet, somehow, against all odds, life still finds a way to hang on.
Wow, what a journey, right? From the sunlit surface all the way down to the deepest trenches. But here's the thing. None of these zones are isolated little islands. They are all connected. So in this last section, let's look at what happens when you start to mess with those connections. So if there's one key thing to take away from all this, it's that the ocean's food web, from top to bottom, is one single interconnected system. It's like a giant, delicate tapestry. And if you pull on just one single thread, the whole thing can start to unravel in some really unexpected ways.
Let me give you a perfect example of this. It's a phenomenon called a trophic cascade, and the story of the sea otter tells it perfectly. So, step 1. The sea otters, a top predator, are removed from the area. Step 2. The sea urchins, which otters love to eat, suddenly have no one hunting them. Their population absolutely explodes. And step 3. All those super hungry urchins munch away on the kelp until the entire forest is gone. A whole habitat wiped out. It's a textbook domino effect. And there's another more hidden danger in this web: biomagnification. It sounds like a complicated word, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Imagine one tiny unit of a toxin, like mercury, gets into the plankton at the bottom. A small fish then eats lots and lots of that plankton, and the toxin gets concentrated in its body. Then a bigger fish, like a tuna, comes along and eats a whole bunch of those smaller fish. See what's happening? The toxin builds up and gets more and more concentrated at each step up the food chain, reaching dangerous levels for the animals at the top, and, of course, for any humans who might eat them. So, from the sunlight to the abyss, we've seen just how everything is linked. The deepest parts of the ocean can feel so far away, so remote from our daily lives, but they're not. They're connected to the surface, and ultimately, they're connected to us. And that leaves all of us with a really important question to think about. What is our role in protecting this vast, vital, and incredibly delicate balance?